Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome to another morning view. Loads to talk about. We are getting ever closer to the massive game on Thursday. Who cares about what happened last night? Who cares about what's going to happen tonight between Barca and Bayern? Nobody cares about those games. It's all about Thursday nights. And I don't mean 4:30 p.m. or whenever it is Matisse kicks off in that stupid cup. No, I mean the real Thursday nights, yeah? The Europa League, yeah? That's what we're moving ever close to. Make sure, as we do every single time, smash a like on the video, man. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Mr. Bojangles, you know what I'm saying? Shout out Mr. Bojangles, used to dance. Says good morning. Good morning, guys. Says Triple M. Merrin T says good morning. Big up to you. Good evening, UV community. Don't forget to hit the like on your way in, Nikhil. Good evening. That shows us the part of the world that he's probably in. Good evening. Yeah. Exactly. Let's go, says Aaron's. And Nessie here every morning as well. Says big up Fleck, Owen, and UV fam. Brendo, good morning, peeps. Smash a like. And Delap, another Rasmus all over again, says Majid. And Aslan is always here as well. And Old Trafford TV says, morning, ladies. Stephanie says, big up Flex and Owen. So everyone's checking in. Everyone's doing their roll call. You know what I'm saying? Getting your feet comfy, get your hot chocolate, get your latte, get your black coffee with no sugar, whatever it is you have, your tea, your mint tea, fruit tea. Like mint teas, Owen? Yeah. Fruit teas, peppermint tea.
I don't mind. I don't mind. I mean, I don't mind a peppermint tea. I used to drink quite a lot of green tea, but it would be like flavored green tea. So you can get your sort of mint flavors and stuff like that. Yeah. I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to that. Yeah.
I do like a little bit of honey and lemon as well. And to be fair, if you see me squinting like these lights, I'm going to go get my glasses in a sec, actually, because headache, just everything's really bright. I'm going to do that in a sec. Got to look after yourself, Fleck. Yeah, exactly. Good morning. Your content is very good, says Ephraim. Thank you. Appreciate that. Straight to the point.
Thank you very much. Yeah.
And Kiddo, it says, good morning. It's sunny. It's a great day to win. And you know what? It is. The sun is continuing. It was lovely yesterday. I almost wore a short set into work. I'm going to wear a short set into work today. Later on, I saw a few people wear some shorts. I thought, is that a bit too much? It's not. It's not, mate. Yeah,
I know.
Yeah, exactly. But what have we got to talk about today? Liam Delap is what we have to talk about today. Laurie Whitwell has been speaking on Stretford Paddock. Shout out Stretford Paddock guys as well. He had some interesting things to say. I just wanted to open up the conversation more on Liam Delap because it wasn't exactly breaking news, but I do think it's important to talk about it as well. Bad news, Mr. Flex, defend that 3-1 to Arsenal talk, please. Yeah, I can't. Good. I was wrong. Way wrong. Good. I'm glad I was.
Speaking of which, Flex, and I know you've seen this because I saw you commenting on it on Instagram, right? We would be remiss. We would be remiss if we didn't play.
It's an all-timer.
Like we've got to. How can you not? Right. This fan cam from Lee Judges, as Flex says, it is an all-timer. Right. Yeah. We've got it just at the right moment for the crash outs. Take a look.
In midfield. Not only do we lose Thomas Partey in this game today, by the way, he's got to take a lot of play for it.
1 second. So who would you have played as?
I've told you how many more times I've got to fucking tell you. Skelly in midfield. Declan Rice stays insane.
No, but where's?
I'm saying wherever fucking holding midfielder, Rob.
So Lewis Skelly's holding midfielder.
Holding midfielder, yes. Declan Rice doing what he's doing.
When's he ever played there?
That's his position in the league and all that. What about?
When have you seen him play there?
When I've seen him playing, he's played it every fucking week in the youth team, Rob. Like every week. Have you seen him play fucking left back? When have you seen him play left back until he's fucking done it this season?
Lee.
Don't make excuses. Do not make excuses.
Calm down, right?
Fucking right, I ain't
true. It's a Champions League semi-final, right?
Yeah.
And you're going to experiment with him playing there as a holding midfielder.
He turned around and said sometimes you have to find something within. He found fuck all within today, Rob. That's it.
I don't know, man, because...
What else did it do? Up front, we lost Marino. What was Marino today? He lost. He had no energy in there.
Brilliant.
He calmed down after that. But that is all-timer stuff right there. That is all-timer stuff. That is excellent. Really
the term, this new crash out term that's come to fruition this season. I mean, if you're talking about crashing out, that is it. That is the complete. I mean, I said there because they hadn't seen it. I was like, oh, what did he get angry? Absolutely amazing. He did make some good points. Rob said, when have you ever seen him play? When did he ever play left back until he came here? His actual position was centre mid. Do it. Fucking try something. Brilliant.
It's just sweet. He's wearing that red top, and his head goes the same color.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, no shoulder guard was at it again yesterday as well. He was crap. It was absolutely terrible. Yeah. Turkish, don't know if you saw his video. Says strip the captaincy off him, mate. Turkish, it's sort of 360 as well. Strip the captaincy off him, mate. Get that off him. I'm sick and tired of it. Turkish was on it, mate. Yeah. He said, get that captaincy off Odegaard. So it all combusted. So you'd never know there was 1-0 and still in it with Partey to come back into the tie. So, so for every Arsenal fan who wants to say, oh, you just said, speak to your own fans, mate. They're losing their shit, not us.
Yeah.
But yeah. Super chat from Omar. He says, bonjour. Very appropriate this morning. Bonjour. Oui. Très bien.
Yeah. Très bien. Comme
ça. Yeah, comme ça. Right. What's Laurie Whitwell been saying though? Like, why do we?
Yes, Liam Delap. So Liam Delap, this is what Laurie Whitwell was saying on Stretford Paddock. He said that Bayern Munich have looked at Manchester United target Liam Delap. Any Premier League, and this is, I guess, the key thing here, because a lot of people are going, oh, why are we going for him? Why are we doing this? Why are we doing that? He's saying that any Premier League team that are looking for goals have inquired about him because he's available. Obviously, it's a good, as I could say, good market opportunity, Fleck. Good market opportunity, 30 million quid. In today's day and age, to get a striker that has scored some goals in the Premier League for 30 million quid, that's not bad going. So everyone's had a look, and even Bayern have had a look at him. In addition to that, as to why Liam Delap wants to join Manchester United, or if he would want to join Manchester United, he said, quote, I think he'd certainly be open to it. He's obviously been in Manchester previously with Manchester City, so those connections are still there. Jason Wilcox was the academy director when they signed Delap, so you've got that connection as well. I think United would certainly present a compelling case for him to join. So really, I don't know if it makes me feel better or not, but effectively, Laurie Whitwell is saying, why would he be open? Well, he's lived in Manchester before, so would he put off going to Manchester?
Jason signed him.
Jason signed him, and a lot of the signings over the last year have had the influence of Jason Wilcox. So yeah,
there's obviously a connection there.
So,
shout out Laurie.
Exactly.
There's a connection there. Yeah. Like I said, it's not anything we didn't know, but I think it still leaves it open, doesn't it? Because we know that Man United are looking at him. We've been told quite a few times that the priority is Cunha and Liam Delap, so that hasn't changed. And you do look at the Jason Wilcox factor. I say he did sign him at City, and one thing, Jason Wilcox, a lot of question marks over the credentials at this level. But one thing he does do or has done or does have experience in is in the academy level and at a good level. That's what I did learn from doing that video with Joleon Lescott when I wanted to know more about Omar Barada. When he spoke about that City academy, because Joleon Lescott worked in that same department per se as Omar Barada, which is why he knows him so well, and Jason Wilcox. And yeah, they built. Listen, they look at the talent that's come through that City academy. Big talents, big talents. So that go on to clearly do things in other places where they look like really good players. On top of the players who make it into City's academy as well. Yeah, sorry, into City's first team from the academy. So that is a positive if you're looking for something. You could call it a reach or this, that, and the other, but it's something. But I don't know. I still get the thing with Delap of I'm just not sure.
What about him or whether he's going to choose us?
Both. Whether he's going to choose us 100%. If we don't get Champions League, like you said, we're like, oh, should we get Delap? Don't even want him. He might not even want us. I mean, we're not really talking about that a lot. Like Chelsea, if they get Champions League, I don't think they will. But if they do, different option. Forest, different option. Newcastle, etc. It's not like the Cunha reports of he'll.
Yeah, exactly. Laurie's sort of saying, actually everyone's interested in him. So
yeah,
proxy, there are, like 14 or 13 better propositions than us, because we're 14 for the Premier. You know what I mean? Where we are in the Premier League, there might be quite a few European clubs, actually, clubs that are in Europe, next season, just from England alone, that would be interested in him. So we've got to
100%.
put together kind of something to convince him. Like you said, it definitely doesn't feel like the Cunha one where you go, yeah, that one's kind of happening regardless. I mean, KG made a really good point last night with the Flex and KG show. He said that, in most normal situations, you have to remember, like, because of where we are at the moment in the Premier League, if you're saying to Cunha from Wolves, come to Man United, well, technically, in terms of like the league table standings, that could be considered a step down, couldn't it? You know what I mean? You go, well, depending on where things end up this season, we don't know how bad it's going to get for us in the Prem. You might be going, you go to a club beneath you in terms of the league standings. But because he wants to move and he's already been convinced of it, I think everyone knows that's going to happen. It's like a really badly kept secret at this point. The Liam Delap one, that's totally different. That still is very much like, I don't know if he's going to...
We shouldn't even be in that thing of like trying to say we don't want him anyway and all that, because he's like, he genuinely might not even want us. Probably won't. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's and just us having another young striker. But then you see the news that me and KG were talking about yesterday on the Flex and KG show of that Gyökeres thing. That in fact, let's talk about that a little bit actually, because listen, me and KG did speak about it yesterday, but the show wasn't as long as it normally is because everyone had to go off to do their Arsenal stuff. But like, it did show that like that thing's still burning. There's an ember like that's still lit a bit. We sort of accepted that we're out of the race because he wants Champions League and this, that, and the other. But Plettenberg was reminding us that like concrete talks have happened. Like, he is basically the dream one for Ruben. That's his guy. That's who he kind of really wants. And if we do get Champions League, and this is what KG was talking about, and I was like, I know KG, but it's been so bad. Because KG's point was, listen, when you're trying to get the new signings in, this is like, you have to explain to these guys, this was a bit of an anomaly. Come here. Let me have a little word with you. Come here. I'm going to give you a nice contract. Obviously, we're not doing the whole 250 and the whole whatever. We're bringing it down a bit, but we're going to bring your wages up from Sporting. Don't worry about that. You're going to get a long deal, 5-year +1. Yeah, we're going places, mate. Yeah, don't worry about that. See that 16th? Yeah, it's not real. We're in the Champions League, aren't we? We're where you wanted to be.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
We won the Europa League with this shit team.
Match what with the view.
You know what I mean?
Match what with the view up there. That's what it's Erasmus, mate. Yeah, I got Cunha in behind you. Pause. Like all of that. I got Cunha coming in, mate. Yeah, I'm getting this. I'm getting that because we got the Champions League. You're going to change all of this. We're going to change what we did at Sporting. So it's like you try and sell.
It makes it easier. It makes it easier to convince the selling, doesn't it? You know what I mean? As Wazza says, there you go. New training ground. Have you seen the plans for the new stadium, mate? They're on the way. Have you seen the tent? Have a look at the tent. You know what I mean? We got some models we can look at. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this.
Roll out the Lego.
Yeah, exactly. No, it does change things, obviously. And I would have thought, again, that those talks with Gyökeres or his reps, what have you, probably did happen. They probably happened not long after Ruben came in, because at that point they were still feeling of, well, we're gonna win games, we're gonna go up the league, and it's gonna be all right. We're gonna be in Europe next season. I don't know how sort of recently, you know what I mean, those talks would have taken place, because like I said, at the moment, it would be very. I mean, this is what I guess the trouble they're even going to have with someone. If you're having trouble with like Liam Delap going, it's difficult to sell because we don't know if we're going to be in Europe next season. Then when it comes to Gyökeres, how are you going to sell that project? How? And KG is right. Look, if you get into the Champions League through the Europa League, it does give you something. It does give you something. I struggled to believe, like, that's why yesterday when Florian put that out, I just look at that and go, we're not in that. Surely we can't be in that race. If Man United managed to pull that off, with all of the chat that Gyökeres, was he 27, 26, 27, Champions League, that's what he wants. For him to go to a side that didn't win a trophy and ended up like 15th, 16th in the Premier League, that would be madness. That would be absolute insanity.
It won't. I don't think that will happen. The Ruben factor.
People will be asking how much we paid him. How much we paid?
How did we get that over the line?
How did we get that over the line?
The Champions League does change it. The Champions League does change it. Like,
it does absolutely change the conversation,
because it changes not only his perception of like I was looking for Champions League and now, so I still got it. But also, it changes what we can pay. It changes our flexibilities. Do you know what I mean? It changes a lot of our trajectory. Daniel Luciano, over 700 watching. Let's get to 200 likes. 100%. Let's get to 200 likes. We're at 174. I want to start building to the 350 because we're on our way, well on our way to 1K watching live. I'm going to revisit this at 1K watching live, peeps, because we'll be there soon, and see where we're at. But please do smash a like on the video if you haven't done so already. Yeah, man. It's not. If you think about it, it really. There's so much that could happen. That's why this Europa League is so important, which it is to everybody, innit? I get it. Spurs want to do the same thing because they need to get players or whatever, different reasons. But for us, the difference is night and day between the aisles we'll be shopping in, I think. And also, it won't. But it's night and day. But also, we do have to have a level of being measured as well, because also, if you think about it, because we've been so crap, there's not a good sample size of like positive work to also suggest this is the place to be. Now I know Ruben was like, people want to play for Man United. Listen, they do, and they will. Cunha wants to come here. He's made his mind up regardless of if it's Champions League football or not. He could be looking to go to Newcastle. Could have gone to Arsenal. Could have opened up the door to go to Chelsea, whatever. He could have just gone for more ambitious clubs at the moment than us. But there's something about, for him personally, clearly, I want to be a Man United player. I want to be the guy. He's got that in him. There's something. He's got a little bit of that, hasn't he? That aura of like, you can see him in a red shirt. You could, you know what I mean? So it depends on the individual, but I just think if we get that Champions League spot, which would be criminal, by the way, very, very criminal, but we must. Yeah. If we do, all of a sudden, the feeling in the summer can look different. It really can, massively different.
Does that worry you? Because I've seen, you can see it in the chat. A couple of people were saying it. They're like, if they're only interested in moving to us if we're in the Champions League, then basically I don't want them. Sort of thing.
No.
Does that worry you or not? Because I don't think that's like, I don't think that's something careers, like I don't think that's a knock on their footballing desire. They want to go to places that are winning things a lot. Put it this way: if if Sir Alex Ferguson wasn't winning Premier League titles, do you think some of the players we signed during his tenure they wouldn't have happened, would they? Like when everyone wants Wayne Rooney when he's a wonder kid at like 16, 17 years of age, do you think he signs for Manchester United if we're 15th in the Premier League with no Champions League football and we haven't won a title in 13 years? No, he signs for Man United because Sir Alex Ferguson's the manager. We win Premier Leagues regularly and we're always in the Champions League every season. Van Persie, as someone Sciliano says right there, came to Manchester United because he goes, I want to win a Premier League.
Yeah. If we were below Arsenal, the team that were, we were way below the team that we were trying to get him from, you go, no, I'll just go Chelsea. They're going to win the title next year, probably.
Yeah,
or whoever else.
If when we signed Cristiano Ronaldo as a teenager, do you think he go, because they're saying Arsenal were interested in him, etc. If we are in the position we are now, not winning a league for, again, like 13 years, not even in the Champions League, do you think we can convince him after he just absolutely smashes us in pre-season? Come to United. Well, no, I'll go to Arsenal. They want me. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's a massive knock on anyone to be like, they only want us for Champions League football, blah, blah, blah. That's not, I mean, we wouldn't have signed our best players ever, right? some of them, if that wasn't the case, because naturally people want to go where they've got the chance of winning things, because as a career, if anything, the worry is that they're open to going to Manchester United just because they want to, they just want money. That's the more worrying one. If you can sort of just pay enough money that they're willing to
if it's the opposite.
How shit you are.
But I just badly want to go to United because they'll give me a 5-year deal. They give me big wages. And it'll be hard to shift me because they run shit. So even if it don't go right, I still got this big contract. They have to pay me off. Just go there and just secure that 4+1 at 120 grand a week. Just secure it. I'm not going to get it anywhere else.
I know we loved the romanticism of like the Cunha thing of, look at us, we're in the mud, and he still wants to join because he's a Man United fan. And as a fan, you can relate to that. You can relate to that because you go, you're a fan, I'm a fan. Look at that, he gets it. But at the same time, you do want them to have a bit of ambition, don't you? You want to have a bit of ambition of like, Yeah, they want to win stuff. They've come here to win stuff, you know. So I don't know if it's should be a complete blanket of, well, they only want to come here because it's Champions League, and if they're not in for the rebuild, then they shouldn't be here. Blah blah blah. Well,
I agree.
You've got to be selfish in your career.
Yeah, and what we're doing is forgetting the new lows, like you said, new lows of the club. So people are saying in there that, you know, well, Delap's no wonder kid. Like, he shouldn't really be having the luxury of that. Well, there you go. He's not a wonder kid. So the next stage of his career as well is also very important. Like, people don't think that, like, these players are not mapping out their careers to say, what's best for me? There's a high chance I could go Man United and it's still a shit show. It's still a shit show. I ain't got no service. They ain't got the right players around me. You know, yes, the pressure, the scrutiny, the media, that is something that if you try to ignore, you're going to get shock. Like, if you try to ignore the scrutiny at Man United, the pressure, the media attention, the irrational attention, the overreaction over one result versus, if you're not cut out for that, then you can't come here. Whether we're good, bad, or indifferent, that always exists. But the actual fundamentals of go to Forest, be number one striker, got an identity, Champions League, more settled, less pressure, do a couple of years there, see how I get on. Or, you know, Chelsea needs someone to spearhead it, you know, but then you talk about Chelsea, young players, high turnover. That you could also say that's not a good move if you're young. But there are legitimate reasons to go or not go to certain clubs, you know, versus go to Newcastle. Second fiddle to Isak most of the time, but he does get quite a few injuries. I'll be the Callum Wilson. They're going to be trying to fight on multiple fronts. They are in the Champions League. I'll probably would I get double figure starts? Gamble on Isak. Might get 10, 11 starts. You know, there's things to consider. There's things
and this is when people like Jason Wilcox and Christopher Lavelle, this is where they earn their money, because it's
convincing.
It's a convincing job. Yeah. How can you, and you'd say, I know you say, look, how do you sell Manchester United one easy job? But that's not an easy job. It's not like, again, you can sell we're Manchester United. But as we've said many a time, in 2025, what does that even mean? We're Manchester United. So far. Or you flash the badge and go, look, we're Man United. And you walk and you take them out. You know, there's a story about Dion Dublin and others have told a story of when Sir Alex would convince people, he'd walk them out into the middle of Old Trafford in the centre circle and just go basically like, play in front of this, you know, that kind of thing. And they'd go, whoa. I don't know if football necessarily works like that as much nowadays. Because if
there's only a few players that will work with. Like, you know, you get the young Diego Leon out from Paraguay.
Yeah,
he's young,
you
17.
Sherman Carrington. Or with Cheeto, when they showed him around, here we go. But for big name transfers, or just most transfers, you know, it doesn't really happen like that now.
Even like Delap, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly, yeah. Or I always use the Brighton example. I forget the player, but he's playing in the Brighton team at the moment. He's like centre back, and he was given like a 5-year plan before he even signed. Like, we're going to sign you. You're going to be sent back on loan.
Oh, is it Van Heck? Is it Van Heck?
I think so, yeah. You're going to be sent back to the country at the moment. Then you're going to go to Championship for 2 years. Yeah, then you'll be on the periphery, and then you'll be a first team. And it went exactly like that. And again, it's like someone said in the chat, it's a pitch. You're pitching, you know, what it's going to be to the players, right? Like you said, if you're in the Champions League, right? I know last season was bad, but we won the Europa League. We're in the Champions League. We've got a new training ground coming, new stadiums on the way. Obviously, we've got new, you know, minority ownership, and these guys are running the show. And this is going to be, yes, we made some mistakes last season, but this is going to be better. And you've got to get them to buy in. You've got to get them to buy. And that's not really anything new. That's the case for every transfer. Is, you know, sometimes it's just easier to convince than others. If you're winning the league and the Champions League, like for instance, Liverpool this season, whoever they go after, it's not going to be that difficult, is it, to convince them to join? We won the league very comfortably. And, you know, we might have been knocked out of Europe by the eventual winners of the competition in PSG. We're not doing too bad. Last season, we didn't even sign anyone. And also, most of our key players we've re-signed to new contracts long term. Do you want to join? And people are like, yeah, I do. You know, and then you get into, and you can play at Anfield. Look at the atmosphere. Look at this. Look at that. You know, it's easy, but yeah, that's because they're successful at the moment. It's a lot. That pitch is a lot easier than. I know we finished 15th.
But that don't normally happen. Believe me, it won't happen again.
Yeah. And I go, what about 8th the season before that? Yeah, I know, I hear you. So you got to bring in Ty. I hear you. I hear you. But
in the pitch, I hear you in the pitch.
I hear you. And I was going to look at the Leon game. Look at that magic. So
look what can happen at Old Trafford, you know.
Yeah,
and that's just it. That's what I mean. Like it's slim pickings, and we have to remember that as fans. So back to your point of like, you can't just be like, well, if he don't want to come here, then this, that, and the other. I don't want him anyway. There's a certain obviously you don't want people to come here against their will. I'm not saying like, because you can't do that anyway. No matter what, you must sign for us. You said you don't want to come here, but we're going to keep making you sign, trying to make you sign. No, that's different. But if someone just kind of expresses like, Man United, not for me. Like, I know the instant thing is, well, good, don't want you anyway then. But like, there's one thing about, obviously you don't want to have someone here who like doesn't want to be here, so you won't get them anyway. But Man United aren't going to try and sign them if they say no. But like you have to understand their reasons.
Yeah, the Frankie de Jong is the best example of that, isn't it? Of like, he did not want to come. So, and then it did become a point of, I'm a bit nervous about the convincing him on this one. You know what I mean? Because he really doesn't want to come. Meanwhile, Lenny Yoro last summer, I suppose initially maybe he didn't want to come, but they managed to convince him. Rio Ferdinand didn't. And then, he's all in on it. And that's still going to be a good signing for Manchester United. But like you said, that's what you got to do. That's what you got to do. That's the job of the negotiators. How do you convince them?
Exactly. Terence Pace says, but Flex, we were told that Saka is better than Dembele, but on our game, God help us, maybe we'll do that. At least our Tifo was 100 times better.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Jesus. I forgot about that when we was watching it live. It was awful. Yeah. And it's massive as well, and they just wasted it by just putting a big shit cannon there. They're not even straight. The thing was just like, well, to be honest though, you know why? On our Tifo, what did we have? European Cup winners. We had people, we had Charlton holding the cup, Rio holding the Champions League, Rooney even holding Europa League, Sir Alex, heritage. To be fair to Arsenal, what were they going to put on it?
What were they going to put in there?
Put the club crest. We don't have any pictures of us actually experiencing
some of what
this.
Arteta, you know what I mean? Boots and shin pads. Could have put them on there. You know what I mean?
Owen's guy, Seth Rollins, says Rio Ferdinand say that Man United still big club Liverpool. Still a bigger club than Liverpool? Is that what you're saying? Did he say that? Still a bigger club? I'd say we're still a bigger club. People start getting into success and they're more successful, but we're a bigger club, etc., etc. Listen, in terms of league titles, they've got 20, we've got 20, but they've got more European cups. They've got 6, we've got 3. So in terms of totality of cups, but then you add in who's got different FA Cups and League Cups, and in terms of total cups, I think they might be like one ahead.
I think they're ahead of us in sort of total trophies.
Total trophies as well. Yeah.
But then this is when you get into people are saying big and they're going, but you're talking about success, not big. It's one of those. No one's ever going to be.
I'm on what Joe Blackman's on, mate. Any Liverpool fan that ain't 70 years old or whatever who go, I remember when we won it in the 70s and we were the best in the 80s. All the Liverpool people that I know, which is my generation, you've seen your team win 2 league titles. I've seen my team win 13. So I'm just on that. I just moved to goalposts. I'll be honest when I talk to Liverpool fans because I ain't
people. They'll go, okay, 2 Premier Leagues in 30 years. How many have United won in 30 years? Again, but that's when you get into that's when we're getting into success, aren't we? And all this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? It's like bigger. Who's got more reach? Around the world. Yeah. Whatever.
Exactly. I didn't say I've seen all 20 show. That's what I'm saying. Oh, you saying you've seen them all? No, I'm not that old. I get what you're doing there. I haven't seen all 20. I've seen 13 though. I've seen 13 of them. Right, let me get rid of that. Don't need that. Wait a minute. And let's get to where we're at with the likes. 252. Right, 350. I said I'm going to get back to you lot at 1,000 people watching live, which is basically now 977. So we're pretty much at 1,000. So let's get to 350. Just a bit of breaking news. Hold on, wait a minute. Last super chat. Wait a minute. Simply Red. Great band. We need a beast up front. Get Osimhen, throw Shirky into. Imagine that. The Shirky thing, there hasn't been.
I feel like that's more because we made Leon. You know what I mean? Because
and he's good, and there is a release clause for 25 million euros or pounds, whatever it is. So there's an opportunity there, I think, for whoever. But as from a Man United perspective, it's never really felt like it's something that we're looking at. Who knows as the window goes on? Well, it's not even open yet, but yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I was onto him for the first leg. So look at him celebrating. Didn't do anything. Second leg, I said he's good. He's good. Bring him. I wouldn't be mad if we signed him for 25 million. Not at all.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, unbelievable, isn't it?
Because he's so cheap. I mean, that is what you're looking at. That is where you look at Man United. You go, tell you
market
what,
opportunity, mate.
Yeah.
Whoever does do that, basically in the summer, you're going to go good signing. Good signing.
Good signing. Yeah. Whether he walks in and starts into said team or is part of a good attacking lineup, he's a good player. And if we're going to spend 62.5 million on Mateus Cunha, which, listen, I get it. He's Prem proven. All of the reasons why he cost that. But you couldn't also blame Man United if they said money is tight. We can get Shirky in the 10 instead. We can get him as a left 10 or right 10 or whatever. But yeah, I like him. I like him. Shirky and Ahmad need to be our right wingers next season. Because again, that's what I'm saying. If you had those two as your right 10s to pick from every game, you're going, right, okay. This is nice. Ahmad can also play right wing back as well. So you're going, that's the do you know what they should be on that? Just to collect that 25 million for him.
Yeah, like I said, I think a lot of people will. Maybe again, United, whether or not there have been legitimate links, we'll sort of wait and see. I think, but it's a good market opportunity, isn't it? Good market opportunity.
Yeah. If Yui says Real Madrid are ready to sell Rodrigo, what do you think about him, Flex? Are they ready to sell him? Is there reports going around like that? Is that what's happening? Maybe it is. Obviously, Carlo Ancelotti's going to depart. Maybe new manager, new ideas. I don't know.
Oh, he might not. He might. It's weird. This is the weird thing. So he was like, he's going to become the Brazil manager, and now Madrid are pissed off. He's going to become the Brazil manager, and maybe that Brazil thing's going to fall through. And I don't know what's going on with that one. I don't know. I don't think he's going to stay. I think everyone's still going like Xabi Alonso is going to go over to Madrid. And this morning they were saying Erik ten Hag could be the Bayer Leverkusen manager or the Bayer Leverkusen head coach next coming up.
Romano still said though that he's going to leave Real Madrid though. He still is, in any case, he's still expected to leave Real Madrid, but maybe not to be Brazil manager.
But the Brazil manager, perhaps. Also, some other news this morning, Fleck, which we can see on the screen right here. Manchester United announcing their final pre-season match. Yes, they're ending the pre-season preparations at Old Trafford, as they usually do. They've got one final match. It's going to be hosting Fiorentina in the Snapdragon Cup on Saturday, the 9th of August, kicking off at 12:45. But that could possibly mean the return of David De Gea to Old Trafford. He may get his testimonial-ish that he didn't get after he left. Of course, when he left and his contract expired, people were like, is he going to be playing? What's going to be going on? What have you? And now, Flex, he might get it. KG might get the David De Gea return.
Is he staying? Is he just got a 1 year, or has he got an extension? They've got a trigger. I think he's staying. There you go. David De Gea's contract at Fiorentina will be extended for 1 more year. Deal to be valid until June 2026, as Fiorentina president confirms the plan to continue with De Gea next season. Yeah, right. Good. So good. What is interesting is I'll just read it out quickly. Jason Wilcox on why Man United are playing Fiorentina in pre-season. Because I wanted to see if there was any mention of David De Gea in there. He says, this final pre-season fixture is key to our preparations for the 25-26 campaign. It will ensure the players have all had competitive game time against top opposition in different environments, including Old Trafford, before the Premier League resumes. We've worked closely with Ruben and his coaching staff to put together a schedule of exciting and competitive fixtures that create the best conditions for the team to prepare. This includes utilising some of the leading sports facilities in the US, playing against strong opponents, and creating opportunities for as many fans as possible to see the team live in Sweden, US, and with this final fixture back home at the Theatre of Dreams. And obviously those top competitive, what did he say? Strong opponents and competitive opposition, top opposition. We are playing West Ham, Bournemouth, and Everton in in America. So yeah, not the greatest. But to be fair, a couple of them teams in and around us and above us. So I suppose that is probably where we are. Fiorentina as well. Who are we playing in Sweden again?
I'm not sure. I was just looking more at
Leeds.
I was
playing Leeds.
I was just looking more at the De Gea stuff. I was looking at his contract because so basically the suggestion is that obviously he took a massive pay cut to go to Fiorentina, but this extension or the triggering of the option to extend his contract apparently doubles his wages. But I'm just trying to figure out how much that actually is because I'm getting lots of different numbers here.
Wherever it is, he earned it. Do you know what I mean? He's been brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it just shows that he's still got it. But yeah, back to him coming back to Old Trafford. Great. I mean, the club clearly aren't at this stage. They're not billing it as like, testimonial or this, that, and the other. It's a competitive pre-season game to get ready. It's not a friendly thing. So, but with what it means to all the fans, we will be on it and we will be making sure we, give David what he deserves, which is a proper send-off. He'll get an amazing reception. I'm sure he'll be at the forefront of all the media that day. So I'm pretty sure he'll come out to speak to the media in the mix zone afterwards. It will be all about David De Gea, and rightly so, man. Like the way he left, I think we all agree. Even if a lot of us wanted him to leave, not everybody, because there's a lot of people saying no, he's still good, he's still the best. Don't get rid of him. But for the portion of us that were saying he should still leave, we all still agreed that he shouldn't have left like that. It should have been better. It should have been handled a lot better. Contract on the table, then it was revoked, slid out the back door, no testimonial, no thank you on the last day of the season, no speech from him, no nothing. He's, in the top 3 keepers ever played for the club.
Yeah.
Or top 4, top 5, whatever you want to call it. He's been an amazing servant. Joe Blackman says, I know we forget to do it sometimes, but please remember to hit the like button, please. Yes, exactly. Where are we at? We're at 285. 285, so big up. But yeah, I'm happy he's coming back to that. That's a nice touch. And there's also, we don't have to pick Fiorentina to play, do we, at Old Trafford?
No. I mean, so it feels quite deliberate, doesn't it? Another bit of news, Flex. I don't know if you've seen this too, because one KG the comedian, he was very unhappy about the discussion surrounding this incident on Sunday. But a bit of an update on the red card that was in the game against Manchester United, because as you can see right there, Bournemouth revealing, they said, we're delighted to share that Evan Olsen's red card from Sunday has been rescinded. He'll be available for selection for the Cherries this coming Saturday. So
I told you,
PGML, they've got that wrong. Wasn't a red card.
That's what I mean. Look, and there's still going to be people now saying, Brenda says rubbish. I'll just be totally honest with that one. I said it from the start, man. I just think when you slip like that, it's not like just because you make contact with a player and it goes through. The Tyler Adams one was a red card.
First one was a red. First one was a red.
I don't think that's if that was Casemiro, where do you say he would have got sent off because he was Casemiro? Yeah, that's the character bias, that's the player bias. But if it was Casemiro or one of our players who'd slipped like that, again, me personally, I'm like, he shouldn't get sent off for that. Did Dorgu slip or no? Dorgu didn't slip. Ridwan, on this, we need to let that Ipswich one go. It was a mad red card.
This Dorgu thing won't go away if Dorgu slipped. You know what I mean?
It was never, ever, ever a slip. It was just a reckless tackle that absolutely should have been a red.
Once again, the Dorgu one, I will get for just so this thing doesn't come up again, because every time we talk about red cards, for whatever reason, it always gets brought up, the Dorgu one. That was the Dorgu red card.
Yeah,
and
he didn't slip in the lead up to that.
That is all every day of the week. That is going to be a red card, isn't it? That is going to be a red card.
It's so crazy when you see it like that. It's a really dangerous tackle, that one. It's really bad. But the people say, if you slip, it doesn't matter. You still fouled somebody. Yeah, but the red card that's been given is for sort of dangerous play or trying to hurt the player and reckless challenge. And when you're not in control of it, through no fault of your own because you slipped. It's football. Like, it's almost like they say, well, where do you want his hands to go? Well, where if the turf gives way, where do you want him to go? Like, and this is me defending Evan Nilsson. I'm just like, come on, man.
Don't get me wrong.
I knew it. As soon as I saw it, I was like, that ain't a red.
Don't get me wrong, I get it. Look, it says here, I actually can't Owen anymore. So negative. We're Man United fans. We're going to back our players, right?
Yeah.
That is a red card. What are we doing here, guys? Are we really that like backing the club and the players that we will just be willing to lie? that is not red. That is a red card. The Evan Nilsson one, I don't think it was a red, but the first one in the Adams one, that's a red card. And I was shocked that the referee, like KG said, he didn't even really want to give the yellow at the time. Didn't even really want to give the yellow. That was a red card. So that's when you go, well, overall, they deserve to be down to 10 men. So maybe he evened it up, one of those things. All right. Maybe the
VAR like evened that out of pressure, yeah.
Fair enough, because they
should have got a red that day.
They should have got a red card. But maybe it's just me. I'm not one of these like fans that just because I'm a Man United fan, I'll be like, nah, not a red card. The doggy one, no, not a red card. It was
yeah.
Like, you know, it just.
Nah, Joe, he said it was a red. Well, what do you want, Flex? If you hurt someone by accident, it's still a red card. I just think, man, listen, bro. I just think we're trying to sanitize our game too much, bro. And this is just all over.
Look at the Bruno Fernandes. Bruno Fernandes got sent off this season for slipping, and they sent him off, and it wasn't a red, and it got rescinded.
Exactly, and now they're doing the consistency. They're doing the consistency of, like you say, applying that same logic, and now we're moaning about it because it's against us. We're just being tribal, bro. We're just being tribal because it's us and we're shit, and we badly wanted them to get sent off, and it just wasn't a red. Exactly, Bruno had a little kick out while slipping, and it wasn't obviously didn't go through the player and stuff. So
never a red card.
It was never a red card. But I just think when you slip, you can't in football. But bro, it's in football terms. It's not real life. Yes, of course, if you accidentally kill someone in real life, it's called manslaughter. You're gonna go to jail. I get that. But if you slipped over, if you slipped over, but you had say there was a chef in a kitchen, yeah, he had a knife, he was cutting some onions, and he slipped over and accidentally, you know what I mean, caused someone harm and they died from it. Yeah, that is different. They're gonna say slips,
and
right?
also as well, what are we doing? This is football. No, it's not
it's
real
football,
life.
It's not real life.
You know what I mean? And like Jeffrey says, but we still lost to the Bruno red. Bournemouth will go, well, if we didn't have someone sent off, we'd have won that game. They got a goal. They scored. We lost 2 points because of the red card. That'll be agreed too. Like, there are two sides to think. I know we just think Manchester United. That's what we just think of. But realistically as well, who gives a shit about this red card anyway? Because let's be honest, if they hadn't given us a red card, we're probably not equalising in that game. We were doing nothing, you know? So I'll take it. Yeah, they made a mistake and now they've overturned it. Win-win for everyone. We got the win. We got the draw. Feels like a win. And you didn't lose your player long term. Good. No problem. And if we're annoyed about inconsistencies with referees and VAR, where have you been? Because refereeing and VAR in this country is shit. It's rubbish. It's been like that for a long time. It's really, really bad. Inconsistencies. Like we said, the fact that they got that red card in the second half was probably because they're making up for the one in the first half that they missed, which was a shocking tackle. And that should have been a red card. Yeah,
I agree. We're crying over spilt milk, in it. There's no point doing that. But the Evan Nilsson one, I'm just going with my initial feeling. I was saying it on the stream, but when you're annoyed and you just want it to be a red card, and even up for the first one, I just didn't push it too much because I was like, I don't care. But deep down, I was like, that's not a red, man.
And for instance, as Court Star says there, if you want to get into the referee, absolutely, the referee was rubbish in that game. The referee was rubbish.
Now that Dorgu yellow card was the most
Dorgu yellow card, shocking, absolutely shocking. And yes, it does feel like, you know, when it's your team, feels like you're getting. And I put myself in this because I whinge about referees a lot. But when it's your team, you do feel like, we're getting, you know, persecuted here, kind of thing. But I also remember, you know, there was that whole discussion. If you talk to an Everton fan, they'll be like, that penalty at the last minute at Goodison, I don't know about that. And we'll be like, no, he dived. You go, I got a bit of luck with that one. People get their, you know, the luck. You get the rubber football. The thing is, and this is the thing with the referees and VAR. it will never get resolved. That's why I was in favor of scrapping VAR. I was in favor of scrapping VAR because things will always be subjective unless it's offside or over the line, where it's not subjective. It's either over the line or it isn't. It's either offside or it isn't. Okay, you give that to technology. Everything else, handballs, tackles, like right now, you'll still have people say Dorgu shouldn't have got sent off for that. So that's proof.
That's mental.
So that's proof that they're just subjective. They're just subjective, and it's almost like the VAR just sort of makes the debate even more sort of muddied, doesn't it? Because they still will never get it right. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Over 1,000 people watching, peeps. We're at 321 likes. We can get to 400. We can get to 400. 100%. Shout out to Daniel highlighting that we can definitely get to 300 at 400. We're at 322 now. So yeah, just under 80 odd. We can do that before we wrap up the show. We are going to hear from Ruben today in the presser. How do you think that's going to go? What do you think he's going to? Just a routine press conference? Do you think they can be welcoming anyone back? We know that Ahmad would have been training probably since Monday. We expect him to sort of drop the whole, too soon for this one. Nothing else from that.
I think so. I mean, you probably get asked here about people like Delap. Is Delap will be because and the way these things go, of course. Oh no, because they'll do open training, won't they? The open training first, then they'll fly and do the press conference, right, in Bilbao. So it'll be in the evening. So it'll be later on. So you'll know a lot of the answers anyway for people that have travelled. So it'll be interesting to see if obviously people like Delict and what have you train first, and then if they travel, because sometimes they can train and not travel. Because like we were saying about the Ahmad one, Ahmad might be with the group today in open training, but he still might not travel, or he might be
not in the squad too early.
Because sometimes they do that. So they'll probably have a lot of the answers about that come the evening. Actually, then it will just be. I think the questions will largely just be centered around,
how big is this?
How big is this? Does this save your season? Make or break? All that kind of stuff. Well, largely what I
have seen that Nico Williams, I think, is available. So there's a little bit
fit.
So that, and it's going to be we'll get
who's he go up against
later on.
Who does he go up against? Nico
and
Williams?
That's what he really, really has to think about, because he is proper. He is proper, man. Did you put Mazraoui there for
that? Yeah,
experience?
Just for that. Yeah.
Would I feel more secure with Mazraoui there than Dorgu? I would.
Yes.
I would.
Yeah, you would.
I would. I think, you know what, Owen? I think that's the best thing. No, but then
again, it depends who's fit at centre back. Then it gets
Shaw's not going to be able to go again, is he?
If it's Shaw, or if Delap is fit, then he can play right centre back, Maguire in the middle, and then Lenny Yoro. They've done that before.
But then he could play Dorgu right centre back. Sorry, right wing back, but put Mazraoui right centre back as well, so he can go and help and give him that support. Yeah, because what happens a lot in the right centre back role, you do when we build up, you are essentially a right back. You know what I mean? The right wing back's gone. They're either as an inside 10, not inside 10, but they either go infield, like further up the pitch, like what Dalot's done loads of times, or they're out wide, providing width. So the right centre back is very important in build up. They become a right back and have to play out there. That's why they always need to be quick. So I think if it is that way, I know we can go, Dorgu against Nico Williams, not sure about that. But as long as Mazraoui's there as right centre back, I think he'll make sure he's close to him. If not, then it'll just be Dorgu left wing back and Mazraoui right wing back. But then, like you said, in the middle, you might have to do a Yoro, Shaw, Maguire, but I don't think Shaw's ready for that. And he's not playing great as well. He's been out for ages. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see on that one. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure. Love Rain says, I don't like Cunha hype. We have 6 attacking midfielders already. I think we should concentrate on wing backs and centre halves. I could be wrong. Well, I hear that, Love Rain. Well, I understand the hype. I like him. But in terms of having 6 attacking midfielders already, we have to see what happens in the summer, because,
and we're all saying they're not good enough, aren't we? We can't score goals.
Exactly. We can't score. And Simply Read, we need... Oh, okay, we read that one already. So, right, there you go. Where did we get to? Did we make it? 352. on the way out. You can do it, guys.
We can get to 400. We can get to 400. Less than 50 to go.
Yeah, you can do that. Let's get to 400.
Yeah, we can do that.
Neil Yoga says we don't have 6 attacking midfielders.
Yeah.
Well, do we by people who just end up playing there? Kobe Mainu, Ahmad.
People that can play in the position obviously we do, but we've said they're not good enough, haven't we? We've said that, and we need better, because every single time that starting 11 gets put out, we go that front three. That's the thing, isn't it? That reaction is that front three. Of just, that front three's terrible. So I think, and as people have said, it's like a hip replacement, isn't it? If you could pull that front three out and put a new one in, you go, oh, that's major surgery to that team. That's not bad. If they're, good players. So, yeah. And then people go, oh, and if you get, those 10s, if they're really good and they have to play in the team, that means then Ahmad, to get in the team, has to play right wing back. So that, that makes the team stronger. And Bruno now isn't a 10; he's in the sort of an 8. So for all of those people saying Bruno shouldn't be in the 10 for Man United, he no longer is. If you've got 2 proper 10s, he's in the 8. People can maybe get what they want.
Yeah, no, I agree. We can't be sort of thinking at the end of the day that we're just going to be clean sailing with these 10s. We have to try and change it, because we don't score enough goals. And when you play with only 3 out and out attackers, the wing backs are converts or whatever, until we get it right, where the wing backs are sort of forwards who have been converted, you can then say we play with more attackers. But right now, we only play 3 out and out attackers. If you're going to do that, mate, them 2 behind the striker need to be serious. They do. Where are we at? 3-7-4. Come on, guys. Let's just do it. Let's get it. Let's just do it. Then we can wrap up the show. 3-7-4. Nearly there. We're nearly there. Nearly there.
Oh, that's the other thing for tomorrow. So for obviously the match view tomorrow, it's gonna be a full house. Obviously, KG, that comedian, myself, yourself. I think Marcel said he's in as well. So it'll be 4 of us. We're all gonna be on our best behaviour, aren't we? We're gonna be on our best behaviour.
KG said he's saving his positivity.
You said no arguing before the game at the weekend. We still did argue quite a bit.
Did we argue?
I did with KG. Definitely did with KG.
Oh yeah, you lost your head.
Yeah, and that spilled over into Monday quite a bit. So,
why does that keep happening? We still find ways to not remain calm.
Yeah.
How? Why? You know what I mean? I don't get it.
So,
God.
So yeah, that really. But we're gonna try. We're gonna try and be on our best behavior. Last time, I remember with the Leon first leg, was it Leon first leg? One of it was like try and be positive, and then we all gave up, didn't we? We went, no, can't.
Well, I think when you're at where you was at, trying to basically, be positive when the team was literally throwing the game away, it makes it very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Yeah. We are 5 away. This is not difficult. We are. Oh, I'll tell you what, we're 3 away. We're 3 away from 400. Anytime now, it's going to happen. It is, because it's what we do.
Oh, and that's the other thing as well. If KG does, if it's not good, and KG goes, I can't believe it's this bad, then I will get angry again, because I'll be like, you can't believe it's this bad.
2 away. 2 away.
We did it. 403.
Well done, people. We knew you'd do it. Big up to each and every single one of you. Right. Okay. Right. Preview will be out later on as well. Check that out, because we've got to have a match preview. And so much to come in terms of getting ready for tomorrow, the big one. We will be there. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for liking up the thing. Check out the Football Flex as well. A couple reactions on there. Reaction on there from the Arsenal game. Check that out. Check out Owen Wrestle News 36555 as well. And we'll see you again soon, everyone. Take care. Peace.